Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome back. Welcome back. I know it's been a while. It is 2023. Can you believe it? I am super excited to be back, and it is going to be an exciting year. Of course, new year, new theme. Our theme for this year is it's all about reach. It's all about reach. We have to reach out and touch others. We can't stay in a shell and just worry about ourselves. We have to reach out and assist and help others in becoming who they want to be. So it's all about reach. And I'm also super excited. I have a special guest for the new year, a new year face that you have not seen before. So I'm delighted to have my guest on tonight, Miss MelissaBelow. Hi, Melissa. How are you?
Hey, Miss Deborah, Coach Deborah. How are you? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. I'm wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. How is the weather there in Dallas?
Oh, 70 one day and 20 the next.
That sounds like Florida.
Right? It's really nice today. It's in the 60s, but it's really been a up and down over the holidays.
All right. That is awesome. So, Melissa, I'm going to let you introduce yourself, but, I noticed that you like to cook. What are some of the things that you like to cook?
Well, I'm originally from Louisiana, so of course we love our seafoods and gumbos and etouffees and things like that. My mom cooked pretty much all the time. That's where I learned to cook. Just Southern food, chicken, and all the bad stuff.
You're making me hungry.
Oh, I know. So yeah, luckily with this, the way inflation is, you can't go out, it's expensive. You can't go to the grocery store, it's expensive. But when you know how to cook, you can make it work.
Hey, that's right. That's right.
It's a tool that I think every young woman should learn, and every young man as well, since you gauge towards young men and what they're all about. They should learn at an early age how to cook, and so they can take care of themselves.
That's right. It's important for them to know how to fend for themselves.
Yes, yes. Well,
Yeah,
I am MelissaBelow, and I turned 50 last year, so hit a milestone. So that's exciting. I'm
yes.
married. I've been married for 22 years. I have 4 children, 3 grandchildren. I've been in the medical field for over 20 years. I work for a company called Concentra, and I've been with them for 10 years. I manage their on-site line of business, or their work site line of business. So I'm a certified coder, although I don't really use that. Since they got me in this new line of business, I've been heading that up, and I'm just having to keep up my certifications for my coding. But other than that, my hobbies, like you said, cooking. I love to cook. Pretty much always it's lunch at my house on Sundays, and kids come, and it's a great thing. I love to sing. I love to read. Some of my passions are health and fitness, which I really didn't get into until pretty much my mid-40s, but really has become a passion for me. And as you know, I'm a member of Effective Living with one of our dear friends, Coach and Pastor Ricardo.
Yes.
So I love being a part of that. I'm a member of Pathway of Life Church. I go to church with him as well, where I sing and usher there. So that's just a little bit about me.
Yeah. You are well rounded. I see that you say you're about to join the praise team. That's awesome.
Yes, ma'am. I am very excited. That's something that, God kind of put in my heart a long time ago, almost when I first walked in the church. And here we are over 10 years later, and it's finally coming to pass. So the timing just is right. So I'm looking very forward to that. It's a gift that my mom always tells me I better use it or I'm going to lose it. So
Yes.
I'm happy to do that.
All right. Yeah, thank you, Karen. Karen says, anytime is a great time to start. As long as we're starting, that's something awesome.
Yes, that's right.
That's right. Yeah, so I want to say good evening and thank you for tuning in to Karen Miller to Agnes Copeland, Brady Robinson. Thank you all so much for tuning in as we get started. And we're talking about my theme for January is knowing all about your worth, reaching your self-worth. Because sometimes we don't think about, we do things and we react, but we don't really think about how we're doing that. Where is it coming from? But, as I stated, the theme for this year is all about reach. And along with our Build Your Best Life family, mothers, fathers, coaches, mentors, educators, and leaders, we all want to get together to help our young men overcome those obstacles. And in order to do that, again, we need to reach out. And young men, they really do need to understand their self-worth, because a lot of times I believe that their failing or their lack of trying to go after what they know is, they know I know I'm good at art, but I hold back and I don't go after those things, is because they don't have that much self-worth. And we know that self-worth is that catalyst that will, make you springboard and go forward and do those things that you need to do. And then I also wanted to mention that, depending on who you talk to, some people say that self-worth and self-esteem are the same things. In the research that I did, it's not exactly the same. Self-esteem is really how you feel or think about yourself. And then, that changes how you do things. But then your self-worth is a stable thing inside of you. And it comes from knowing what you can do. So it's not anything about what you think, it's what you know. I know that I'm good at organization. I know that I'm good at cooking. I know this. That's my self-worth. If I lost my job and I had to do something, Melissa, you could, essentially get you a food truck, hey, and make a living.
Right?
You can cook. That's something that you can
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's a good point, because I think you're right. A lot of people think it's the same thing, and it's really not. It's two different things.
Yeah. So, Melissa, why do you think it is essential for our young men to have self-worth?
Wow. With so much going on just in our world today, I mean, think about the young man who was a dancer and a DJ, and everybody loved him, and he was so popular. Twitch is who I'm speaking of.
Yeah.
And, who knew that all these things were inside of him that he was dealing with? And it apparently was so much that he didn't have an outlet. I think mental health and self-worth go hand in hand. They're tied together pretty much. So I think it's really, really important for young men to have self-worth. I think it contributes to better with their relationships. I think it contributes in their job. It contributes just in their overall mental well-being, their developing skills, their coping skills. And, as you know, it's hard for young people coming up right now. It's not the world we grew up in. It's really, really hard. So for them to have coping skills, for them to be able to handle adversity, and just put negative things into perspective, it's so, so important. It's key. It's a must, and it's really important that we do our part to help instill that in our young men. So,
yeah, like you say, it's a must.
it's a must.
There's no doubt about it. It is a must. And people, a lot of times people say things and react before they really think about it, and you never know where a person is. If they're tilted one way or the other, and one reaction could just send them over the edge. So,
Absolutely.
It's important that we start with ourselves and, work on ourselves. A lot of times we forget about ourselves. We think about others. We think about our physical health. If you heard all the people talking about New Year's resolutions and what they're going to do differently. I don't think I heard anyone say anything about mental health. Everybody said, they're going to lose weight, they're going to exercise
Right.
more, they're going to eat differently, uh, do this and that, and take care of myself. But nobody said anything about their mental health. So.
Man, that's so true. And that's a great point. It's something that we should put first instead of, the outward, the body. But believe it or not, a lot of that nutrition and fitness does impact your mental health. So a lot of the food choices we make today are really compromising our mental health, believe it or not. It can send you into a deep depression just because you're so unhealthy on the inside and you're not feeding your brain all that, the good foods and the good fats and the things that we need that God created and put on the earth for us to have to just, that's one little edge up on the mental health. But absolutely, I think mental health needs to be a priority. And, we need to, I have two young boys, young sons, 24 and 29. And so it's really dear to my heart, what you do. And so thank you for the book. I actually ordered one for my son. I'm not sure if he's read it yet, but he is an avid reader. So he's got a stack of books in his room right now that he's working on. And so I'm excited to hear what he has to say about yours. But so
Yes.
thank you for what you do.
Yeah. So tell me, as soon as he reads that, I'm going to have him on so we can discuss something.
There you go. I sure will.
Yeah. So what are some of the ways that you believe that parents can assist their children in growing in this area? Because I don't think it's one that, people give a lot of thought to.
Yeah. I mean, for one, they can encourage, social media is a huge thing right now. Almost all kids are on social media, in my opinion, way too young than they should be. But social media can have a really big impact on their self-worth. So I would say, number one, encourage your young kids, men and girls and boys, to, be responsible with their social media use. I would say encourage them to avoid comparisons, which kind of goes hand in hand with social media. Like, don't compare yourself to others. Instill in them that they are unique. They are an individual. They're, God created them special. And so comparison is not a good thing. That they should steer away from comparison. I would say keep, open communication with your children. As we know, kids shut down. A lot of times they don't want to talk, but we got to find ways. We have to find what it is that clicks for them, that will make them open up to us and keep those lines of communication. Just staying involved in their lives, just making sure that we know what they're doing at all times. It's really important. I think also if we demonstrate self-love to them, or unconditional love, and show our self-love to ourselves, it teaches them in turn to, have self-worth. If we give them unconditional love and show them and teach them that, then, they won't be left thinking, well, if I don't do this, then I'm not going to be loved. If I don't do this the right way, I'm going to, I'm not going to have self-worth, or I'm not going to be good enough. No, unconditional love means no matter what, I still love you. So, and then just teaching them to help others. I love it when parents take their kids on Thanksgiving and help serve food to the homeless, because teaching them to help others, as you know, when we help others, it helps us feel better. That's a key factor in teaching our kids, teaching them how to communicate. Yes, Karen, it's key, because now how do they communicate? They don't have that open line of communication that we all did. So it's very important to teach them to communicate, and just to like I said, to love others, to help others.
Yes. Yeah, and also Karen talks about that self-love. That is so important, because even within a home, it can be the biological mom and dad, and they can still, for whatever reason, have issues within themselves, and they can talk down to you, a child, and make that child feel like, ooh, they don't even love me.
Right.
But if that child has been taught somewhere, even by those parents, that hey, you have to love yourself. God made you, as you said earlier, He made you. When He, after He made you, He broke the mold. You're unique. You're special. He loves you, and He wants you to know that. And you have to love yourself first and foremost. That is so helpful to people.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, because
So helpful.
you think about those people, and we talk about the mental health, and those people that are just on the edge. They may be in a relationship, girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife, whatever, a good friend, and that person walks out of their lives. If they don't have a strong self-worth or love themselves, that could just do it in for them.
Oh yeah, send them over the edge that they don't even see life or what's important or how to live life anymore. They're so wrapped up in that one person. That's so true. I deal with that in a very someone that's in my close vicinity that deals with that. So it's all around us. I mean, we all know someone that's dealing with mental health issues.
All right. Now I want to say take this time to say good evening too. We had some people to join us. Elder Levette, Cynthia Ferguson, and Dan Smith. Good evening to you all. Thank you for tuning in.
Good
Uh,
evening.
children, they need to learn a lot of things. They have to learn life principles. They need to learn biblical principles. They do need to learn those ABCs and everything. But as parents, we have to guide them, assist them, encourage them along the way. But what we know is that every child is not an A student. Every child is not the next Michael Jordan, the next Kobe, the next Tom Brady or Tiger Woods. So some say we can overpraise our kids. But I wouldn't phrase it as overpraise, because we want to encourage them and let them know, yeah, we think you're doing a good job. That's great. But also, I think it's important to encourage them in what they do when they're doing their best. Thank you. That is great. You tried. Last year this time you wouldn't even try to get in the pool. Look at you now. Yeah, at least you're getting in and walking around. That is awesome. You have to thank them and encourage them for whatever efforts that they are. They have the courage to make, and don't just make it always be something that has to be huge. Just like we say, we need to thank ourselves for the little things that we do. We need to encourage our kids as well. So, Melissa, what is your opinion about offering too much praise or not being totally truthful about a child's performance or their attributes?
Well, when I grew up, everybody didn't get a trophy. we're in the age where everybody's a winner. Everybody gets a trophy. I don't know how I feel about that, but I don't think it's good for kids' self-confidence. I think you're right. And the key word that you said was showing them that they put forth a good effort. I think the word effort is key, because telling them that they put forth effort and they did good with giving effort, that's what's going to instill the self-worth, not just saying good job. I mean, we get lazy. We say good job, good job. Well, what specifically are we saying they did a good job on? But, there is such a thing as overpraising, however you want to put it or word it. I think it's a fine line between praising your kids in a healthy way and then overdoing it. I think it can cause, feelings of entitlement when they're overpraised or everything's great. It's like almost like they have nothing to work towards. If they're just great at everything, then what am I reaching for? What am I striving for? What can I work on? It's like when you give yourself a review at your job. You never give yourself all fives because everybody can get better, right? We all have room for improvement. So, overpraising can lead to feelings of entitlement. It also can lead to feelings of inadequacy. They, like you said, they may not feel they're worthy of going out and reaching for something because we've already told them they're great at everything. So you got to be specific and tell them, hey, good effort. Like you said, good effort with trying something you didn't try last year. Life might be a disappointment to those kids who are overpraised because everything was so hunky-dory with mom and dad, and they get in the real world and they're going to be sadly disappointed because everything's not going to be a good job every day. We have to grow. And in order to grow, we have to find out what we're not that great at. So there's healthy ways of telling them that they're not doing a great job,
Right.
So I think we handicap the kid instead of helping them if we do too much for them. And if we're constantly praising them, we're not really helping them, we're handicapping them.
Yes. And as you were saying that, I don't know why this came to mind, but as you were talking about the performance review, I know a lot of jobs, when I was in corporate America, they would have you to do your own performance review, rate yourself, and then you would sit down and discuss it. They didn't have to agree with what you said, but like you said, you wouldn't give yourself all perfect scores. But I remember I worked at this one company for 41 years, and most of my time there, I had the same boss. And so, she knew me, I knew her, she knew my work ethics and whatever. So I normally got really good scores and everything. But I did my work. I went above and beyond. I would try to learn new things or whatever. Well, she retired at the end of the year, and before she retired, did my review, and I had one peer, and she did the peers review. And she gave it to the vice president. She was a director. She gave it to the vice president. He had to give us our reviews. First of all, he didn't know us. And secondly, he didn't try to know us. But then he was a lawyer as well. That was his profession. We were in medical health insurance. And he gave me my review, but he first leaned over the table, looked me in my eyes, he beat on the table, and he says, "Why do you deserve better than a 3?"
Oh my goodness.
And when he got finished with me, he was saying I shouldn't have anything above meets expectations. I was just average. Well, now that I think about it,
after 41 years, Ms. Deborah, you deserved a 5. You needed a top score.
Well, I knew what I knew, and both of us were just devastated. Well, my peer, she retired. She's like, "No, I'm not doing this." I started to retire as well, but my youngest son was in college at the time, and I was like, I went to the financial advisor and everything, and he said I'd be fine, but I was like, nah. I was like, okay, I can't put any more on my husband, and I'm not going to do that, and I'm not going to let him run me off my job. Right. I know my self-worth. I know what I can do.
Right.
Before he left, and he didn't stay in our area very long, he not only was giving me above average, but he gave me a promotion from a senior manager to a director.
Good for you. See there? Don't matter what your title is. Yes, you knew what you knew. You had that self-worth.
Yeah.
That sums it up. Yeah. That sums it up.
So it's important for us to know what we know. So when somebody else tries to beat us down or kick us to the curb or whatever they do, you got to know what you know. And when you know what you know, I used to always tell my son, I would trick him and ask him some questions and ask him again. And then he hesitate. I say, "Do you know?" When you know what you know, you know it.
And wisdom is power, right? Wisdom is power. You can't take that away from anybody when you have wisdom.
So self-worth, I think, is very essential to have.
Absolutely. And you just got to find that fine line between overpraising and letting your kids know they did a good job. They put forth good effort. It's a real fine line, but
Right.
the real world is not going to be as good as we are to them.
No, they're not. It's not by a long shot.
Absolutely.
Okay, Melissa, can you please tell everyone how a lack of self-worth can negatively impact a person's mindset and their feelings?
Yeah, I think it just goes back to that mental health issue. Like if you don't have that within you, you will not be brave enough to try new things. You will not go out into the world. You might not meet the lady of your dreams because you're too shy and you don't have enough confidence to approach her. You may not get the job that you were meant for or that you're capable of because you don't have it within you to go and apply or think you're good enough. I mean, so many things. Almost everything in life has to do with honestly how you feel about yourself. And I think it affects your mindset. You can get fixated on it to where you can't even get out of that mindset and you're stuck and you ended up going down a rabbit hole of depression. And it could just really lead to some horrible things. So I think it affects the mindset more than anything. Mental health is key.
It is. It is. Loving yourself and doing the things that will assist you in building and improving your self-worth is essential for success, to make you effective and to be the best that you can be. Can you provide our audience with maybe 3 to 5 tips on building and maintaining self-worth?
Yeah, first, I was gonna just kind of tell a backstory about my own self-confidence in the fitness industry. So I didn't get into fitness until, like I said, maybe 43. I would walk. I would walk, do walking, and I was a cheerleader, but I was not like an athlete when I was growing up. I was just dancing cheerleader, that type of, I wasn't overweight or anything like that, but I wasn't really into fitness and nutrition. So when I was 42, I was invited to Camp Gladiator. It's a kind of a boot camp type of workout. And I did really good. And, they invited me back. They had a special. So I joined. And that was just kind of the beginning of me growing my self confidence because the trainer saw something in me that I didn't see in myself. He's like, you could lift heavier weights than that. Okay. I tried it. I did it. Wow, I proved to myself I could do it. From there, it led to, they have something called CG Games where you enter this big obstacle course and it's a huge race. It's really hard. One of the hardest things I've ever done, but got talked into doing that from some of my friends. I conquered it. From there, we entered Spartan races, like big time stuff. And I was like, okay, I felt, I'm bad. I can do this. And it really, when you do things that scare you or things that you've never done before, it really can boost your self-confidence because you're like, I did that. I can do anything because it's all about your mindset. Our bodies can do so much, but it's our minds we have to convince. So some things I think we can do to help build and maintain is just surround yourself with like-minded individuals. When you're around Debbie Downers all day or people that aren't like you, it's hard to keep that self-confidence up. So I would definitely say surround yourself with people that are like-minded, that believe in what you believe in, that are going where you want to go. Do things you enjoy. We all have something we enjoy. Do things you enjoy. Don't bury yourself in your work. Get out, do things you enjoy. That can help boost your confidence and maintain it. I had some more notes here. Sorry. Yeah, I said be around positive people. So kind of the same thing that I was saying earlier. Be around positive people. And just when you prove to yourself you can do something, take it farther. Take it a step farther. If you do a 5K, hey, shoot for a 10K next. You have to have goals. You have to have goals in mind and set something for yourself to achieve. I think you said Brady was watching. I was telling, we have a little group that they created called Bringing Sexy Back.
All right.
And so we just encourage each other. It's a new year. We're trying to get fit again. We've all gained a little weight over the holidays. But I told them, I have goals every day for like daily, monthly, yearly that I set for myself. Because otherwise you're just waking up and going with the flow. You can't live like that. You have to plan. You have to have a goal in mind. So, I had a goal of running 2 miles in, what was it, under 25 minutes, I think, or 2 miles in under 25 minutes. I just set that goal and I did it. I barely did it, but I did it, and so next it'll be cutting that time down. I had a goal to do 10,000 steps in January every day, and I'm on day 3 and I'm getting there, but it's a conscious effort. So creating goals for yourself is really important too. Yeah, that's great, Cynthia. I love that. Once you have self-confidence, you strive for more. It's a good feeling when you believe it. It is. It's a great place to be because nobody can tell you anything. It doesn't matter what the naysayers say. It doesn't matter people talk about you or don't like you. When you're confident within yourself, you can hold your head high and know it doesn't matter what anybody else says. I know what I'm worth. Just like you with the vice president. Doesn't matter. He's a lawyer. Doesn't matter. He's a VP. He can have the title, but you knew what you were worth. And that means more than anything. So.
That's good. All right. So, some of those were surround yourself with positive people, do things that you enjoy.
And another thing is, I think I left out, like, go to therapy. There's nothing wrong with therapy. If you need to go to therapy, that's what it's there for. If you need that to maintain or pick yourself up out of a bad situation that just happened to you in life, hey, go to therapy. They're professionals. They can help get you through a tough situation.
Yes, therapy really, I understand that, it's very helpful. A lot of people are hesitant to make that step, but anything that, when you're feeling, a certain type way, you don't really have anyone that you want to open up to,
Right.
that therapist, there, nobody's going to know but you, them, and God. So
exactly, you're not telling your business because they're, they don't care. They're not, they're paid to help you. So.
Yeah, that's good. All right.
Well, continue to do things that scare you. Like I said, do things that scare you. Always reach for something that I hear people say all the time, oh, I could never do that. Yes, you actually could. You actually could do it. You haven't opened up that, just like Pastor Ricardo jumped out of an airplane.
I know.
I'm terrified of height. So I'm preaching to myself when I'm saying this. I can't see myself ever doing it, but I bet his self-confidence grew tremendously after he did it. So you have to do something that scares you in order to grow.
Yeah, you have to have that faith and step out there and do it.
Absolutely.
I mean, just think about if you hadn't done some of the things you've done in, is it the Gladiators?
Uh-huh.
I mean, that's quite some feats that you have accomplished. And, you're saying, well, I'm going to do some more, and I'm not going to just stop here. I'm going to try to improve on those things.
Exactly. But you have to prove to yourself you can do it. And what's the worst thing that you could do? Fail. But that's what successful people do. They fail 1,000,000 times over.
Yep.
And some of those successful people don't even have, parents that are overpraising them. And a lot of the successful people we hear about and read about, the athletes, they didn't have a great, upbringing. They didn't have people praising them all the time, but those seem to be the people who kind of make it farther in life. So that's when I say that we're crippling or handicapping our kids when we do too much for them. And I'm probably guilty too. I'll spoil mine rotten. But you live and learn, right?
Yeah. Yep. Well, we spoil them, but we teach them things too. So
Exactly. Always.
yeah.
Every day we're learning, we're teaching. And they
That's
teach us stuff. My son teaches me stuff, believe it or not. You know, I learn from him. He's very mature for his age. It's a lot of things I teach him, but he teaches me as well. So it goes both ways. We got to be open to our learning from our kids.
Yeah, we have to be open. Yeah, that's another thing. You know, just like you say, our young men can't think because we're older. We don't know what's going on. We're old fuddy duddies or whatever. And likewise, we can't say, "Oh, they're young. They don't know." We have to be open to learn.
Absolutely.
Everybody does.
They're in a whole new world and generation. I mean, all of the technology, like we don't keep them around, we're gonna be stuck out. Yep, it's crazy. So,
all right, and it's so funny for even the little young ones. I've watched my grandkids, and you don't want them on these devices all the time, but it just seems like the 1-year-old or 2-year-old, they get them and they can just find things, and it's like, you like they'll say, well, where do you find blah blah blah, but you give a little kid something, they find their own stuff. They just flipping the pages on the tablets. I'm like, really?
I'm telling you, it's so true. My little 2-year-old grandson he knows. He's opening up the camera. He's saying, Nene, he's looking at my pictures, everything. It's crazy. It is crazy.
They find things that you can't find. I know yesterday people were trying to call me. Nobody could get me. My grandson had put my phone on airplane mode. So
oh, no.
Okay.
That's so funny.
But it's all good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this was a great segue into opening up this year about reaching out and self-worth, starting out with yourself. I think is a good place to start.
Absolutely, it is.
Yeah, so I hope everyone got something from this segment. I know I did. It was very good information. Please make sure that you share it with others. If you tuned in late, you get a chance, go back and look at it from the beginning, because Melissa gave a lot of great insight, and I enjoyed the whole segment. So, Melissa, do you have anything that you thought of that you want to give us as closing thoughts about self-worth or anything?
Like you said, reaching out, just we start with ourselves, but reaching out will also heal us. We have to understand that, God works through his people. And so reaching out to people, helping people, loving people, understanding that they may be bright, cheery, have a big smile on their face, but they may be going through something that we have no idea. So just always treating people with kindness, and in turn, that's going to help us heal. It's going to help our self-worth. Take care of yourself. Do things that you love, and be the best you can be every day, which will also help you create that self-love and self-worth.
Great closing thoughts. And excuse me. And yes, it is so important to be kind to others, because we never know where they are in life, and one bad thing can send them over the edge. One kind gesture, even a smile, how are you doing today, could save someone's life.
Absolutely. It might save them from going over the edge, and we had no idea. We just complimented them in passing, and hey, it may have changed their whole perspective on life or what they were planning on doing later. So just always got to keep an open mind.
That's right. Thank you. You never know where someone else is, because I mean, you hear just like you were talking about Twitch. I mean, when I heard that, I was like, huh?
I
I
know.
mean, it was just everyone had that same thought,
Unbelievable. Yeah.
Twitch.
Just
He is just so happy. He made other people so happy. And the lady on Daily Blast, she was saying, she said, well, I used to suffer like that. I'm much better. She said, but when you are a person that laugh a lot and you do things that are fun and you can make other people laugh, you can easily put on that facade,
yes.
you know?
Yeah, we think about Robin Williams. He was
Yes, I couldn't believe him either. I love Robin Williams. I was like, huh?
me too. It's crazy to me because I wear my heart on my sleeve, like my face. If something's wrong with me, you'll know it. I just show every emotion. So how people can hide that and just be so happy on the outside and be suffering so much, it just baffles me. But we just gotta keep lifting people up, encouraging. Even like you say, young men, they're probably think they're too good or too ashamed to go to therapy or to reach out for help. But we got to encourage our sons and our young men that, hey, it's okay. It's okay to reach out. It's okay to ask for help.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone. And that, it's really, really important. And another thing, that they were saying, because, like you say, I guess we're too much alike because you can just look at my face and like, what's going on. But there's so many people that are not like that. So they're saying, even if it's someone and they look like everything is okay, you got to ask some questions sometimes.
Yes. Can't
And
believe it anymore. You can't believe by people's actions anymore because we've seen that too many times. They can fool you. So
yeah, so it's a good thing to talk about people, talk to people you haven't talked to in a while. That's one thing that I've been trying to do. I'm always just so busy, 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 but every week I want to at least reach out to two people that I have not talked to in a while. Doesn't matter who called, who last,
right.
reach out, and talk to them. And like the last person that I talked to, she had been through so much, and and I just told her, I said, well, you were just constantly on my mind. And I kept saying, okay, I got a call. And then I look at my watch and I'm like, oh, it's too late. And it just went on and on and on. So we just have to take that
make the time.
time.
Yeah, we have to make the time for
We
outsiders.
put everything else on to-do list. Got to put that on the to-do list.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. And even within our own homes, we live with people every day that may be suffering it right up under our nose. We got to talk to our families and our kids and our loved ones and make sure everybody's okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been fun and an honor and everything. I love what you do. I love everything you're about. So keep up the great work.
Thank you so much. And thank you for taking the time to be on with me today. And I just want to remind everyone to please like my Facebook Build Your Best Life page. And I always put that up, and I don't mean to. Like my Facebook Build Your Best Life page, because I do have a Deborah D. Smith page. But I was finding that, people will say, well, I was on, but you didn't say anything. You didn't welcome me or whatever. And that's because I didn't see your comments or anything, because I'm constantly looking at my phone and over. But if you don't like my Build Your Best Life page, then I don't see your comments and I don't know that you're there. I don't see your name at all. So please make sure that you like my Build Your Best Life Facebook page. Subscribe to my YouTube page, because I want to recognize everyone that's on, because I appreciate you, because you could have been anywhere else.
I liked you. I had to make sure I was on there.
Thank you. Yeah, so I appreciate it when you are on. Please visit my website, www.buildyourbestlife.org. You can see my calendar of events. I already have events planned out for this year. Our 4 main events, which is our mothers and sons, our men and boys, our educational symposium, and our gratitude. Those things are already scheduled. I have a blog that comes out each Monday. Please check those out. and visit my store. You can get an autographed copy of my book, like Melissa did for her son,
Yeah.
out on my website. And I autograph those and get them out to you quickly. And if you like Kindle version, you can also go to Amazon.com and get a copy. But again, I thank you so much for tuning in. Tune in again Thursday. I'll be back on. And guess what? My topic is going to be love thyself. So Make sure that you tune in. Thank you, Cynthia. Cynthia said it was a great conversation and great information. We thank you, Cynthia. Thank you for tuning in. All right. I want everyone to have a wonderful rest of your day. I hope to see some of you on Thursday. And again, Melissa, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And thanks everybody for joining.
All right. So y'all enjoy, like I said, enjoy the rest of your day. I'll be looking for you on Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Be safe out there. Stay bundled up. We still got a lot of things going on out there. But remember, build your best life is our business. That's not a slogan. It's our commitment. I love you. Be safe. Take care. Until next time. Bye-bye.